Good morning. It's Sunday, second day of our conference here at Western Reserve Artist Blacksmith Association, and for the last few days I've been the one lighting the forge fire. And this is how I do it. I may not be doing it the way everybody else does, but this is what works best for me, so follow along in the video and I'll explain to you how to light a coal fire. For the first timers who've never done this, this is how I do it. First, you want to rake out the fire pot. You want to get all the debris, ash, clinkers, this stuff, big old nasty clinkers. Fire scale from the steel, don't want that in there. Now that we've got everything raked out, we're going to get rid of some of this junk out of the way. And then we're going to start with a little paper. I don't know if any of you light a forge, coal forge with paper, but first we're going to open the air gate. And we're going to kick the blower on full blast. We're going to blow all that shit off the tweer. Okay, now we're going to shut off the blower, pull the air gate shut, and then we're going to take several sheets of newspaper. We're going to open her up, wad it into a ball, curl the ball under like so. And we got a few napkins. Drop them puppies down in there from last night's dinner. Ball of paper. Sometimes the paper was damp, left out overnight in the dew. So we're going to go with 2 balls today. This could be a little more difficult lighting off. Okay? Now most people in the club would light this and then rake the coke on top. I do it slightly differently. I'm going to rake coke on top to hold these puppies down. Get some nice coke in there on top of all that. Now I'm going to leave myself a little hole right here at the front. Okay. Turn the forge blower on, air gate shut. Even with the air gate shut, it allows a little air to come through. Take Mr. Handy Dandy Burns-O-Matic. Fire him off. Turn the flame down a bit, like so. That way the blower won't blow it out. Now what we're going to do, we'll take our coal rake here. We're going to go right down under here. And we're going to light off these balls of paper right here. Yeah, some people say I'm cheating, but like I said, this is what works for me. When I had my home forge before I had to sell the place off, this is how I did it in my own forge at home. Worked perfect every time. Okay, now, the fact that we've got flame shooting out of there and we can see lots of billowing white smoke, that means the paper is burning. Now, without smothering the fire, gently rake some coke over the top so it can catch. Now we're going to let it cook like this for a few minutes. Hopefully I just didn't smother that. No, I see sparks. We're going to pull back right there. There's a little bit. Okay, I'll use the rake, pull back. There we go. There's some flame. Now what I'm going to do is to make sure that I'm going to go over here, get the shovel. I'm going to take a little bit of green coal, just for effect. We're going to pile a little of that right on top there so we can start making some fresh coke. Now we'll know when that goes off because the smoke will turn to a greenish yellow. Now we're going to add just a little more air. I'm going to slide the air gate in. Hear that roar? That's what you want to hear. You don't hear that roar, it's not going. Now, what I mean by air gate, let's, without dumping the camera, swing around, tilt down. Yes, this thing here, this is the air gate. As you can see, there's a big hole in there, 3-inch diameter hole. The farther we push this in, more air we get. We have settings marked on there. Okay. Now, without shaking the camera too much, I'll show you where the blower is. The blower, let's follow it up the pole here. All the way up to the top. And there it is, an electric powered Buffalo forage blower in the rafters. Out of the way, quiet and convenient. Okay, we're going to make like the lunar module, touch down on 3 legs, back to the fire. Okay, now you can see the glowing orange embers. This means our coke is now lit. Fire is underway. There's still paper burning down under there. Push a little more coke in. Drag a little more coke in. Partially burnt coke. Okay, now back here, I don't know if you can see it or not, some of our green coal is catching. There's a greenish yellow smoke right in this area where the fire poker is. Gonna break up some of this coke. I said break it up. Yeah, this stuff cokes up really hard. Let's put some more in there. And rake some more in there like that. We're going to establish a good bed of coal. Then what we're going to do, we're going to throttle her back. Just going to let this puppy go. There, more greenish yellow smoke. Means there's more green coal there coking off. Going to move these tongs out of the way. Not a good idea to leave them in the fire. Fire poker will leave there. Shovel right there. Oh, that was close. Almost got a wake-up call. Almost dropped something on my toe this morning. Yeah, make sure you're fully awake before you do this. And what we're going to do, we're going to get some of this green coal up here. We're going to make some more coke, a little more smoke. By no means are we ready to forge yet. Another 20 minutes or so before we have a really good bed of coke and a nice fire going. And that's basically all there is to it, people. That's how I light off a coal fire, and may not be the best way for everybody, but like I said, this is how I do it. This is what works for me.